Hey there, Cutie and Cosplay here with another video. Today's video is going to be a much wider view to accommodate the giant amazing posters that I have recently acquired, which will be the star of my first story today. And so today's video is going to be about happy GameStop stories, because I've told some in the past, but they were a little mixed, and this is all happy stories from GameStop. So let's get into it. So today's first story is going to be about my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth posters. Amazing, there's 4 of them in total. There's the game title, Sephiroth, Zack, and Cloud. So to start off my story, one day recently when this game came out basically, I popped into GameStop and I saw their beautiful promotional posters for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They are seriously some works of art. I love the backgrounds on them. Cloud and Zack look so cute, and Sephiroth looks so amazingly sinister. I thought if they take these down and just recycle them, I would love to take them off their hands. So the GameStop I first saw them in was located in a pretty busy area where like a lot of younger kids and just large volumes of crowds anyway would go through, so I really figured somebody else would have their eye on them. I'd be competing with them for these posters, but luckily there was another GameStop kind of close to me that was a lot more secluded and out of the way, so I figured there'd be less nerds bothering this store. So first I went in and I asked one of the employees when they changed the posters, and she told me every Sunday. So I was like, alright, I'll call back Sunday, keep checking on Sundays. The next Sunday I ended up being busy, but luckily one of my amazing family members called for me to check in about them. Then I learned that the employee must have had incorrect info, because she was right that they're taken down on Sundays, but not every Sunday, which does make sense. Basically they just replace them when they eventually get something new to promote. And the Sunday after that, I called again, and another employee there told me that other people wanted the posters too. So she ended up taking my name and number, but from there I felt pretty defeated. I was like, there must be a crazy long line of people even at this location. So wasn't much hope that I was gonna get them. But in a last-ditch effort, I figured why not. I checked the next Sunday, and I hit the jackpot! The employee told me that they were taking the posters down that day and recycling them so I could come and get them. It really makes me think that nobody else actually wanted them, and the other people calling for them was really just my one family member that called that other Sunday. I don't know, but in any case, I'm beyond excited to own these, and I will treasure them forever. They are works of art in my household now. I'm so excited. They're beautiful. My favorite is the Zack one. As you can see, he is front and center. My favorite, Sephiroth on top, Cloud on the bottom, Zack in the middle. Great sandwich. Next up, for my second happy story, one memory I have around the late 2000s that I fondly remember was these GameStop employees that took the time to help me find a game that I was looking for. On a day that I'd gone to the mall with my parents, I went into GameStop looking for a game that I had played at a friend's house. At the time, I didn't remember exactly what the name of it was, but I remember what I was calling it, which was Guardian Heroes. So I went up to the cash register and asked the guy working if he had a copy of Guardian Heroes for GameCube. I remember the guy looking for it on the computer, and he could not find it. Afterwards, he walked over to his coworker and asked if he knew what game I was talking about, and he did have an idea, but unfortunately it wasn't the game I was thinking about. I remember him saying, "Oh yeah, that old game on Sega Saturn." So the first guy then tells me that they don't sell Sega Saturn games. Now I ended up confused, and I began to explain that I had played it on GameCube, and I also remember seeing it for Xbox and PlayStation 2. The second guy overheard us talking and came over and tried telling me that Guardian Heroes was only ever released on Sega Saturn, and that those other platforms never got a port of that game. Then the first guy asked me, why don't I explain like what the game looks like, and little me really, I tried my best to explain that magical co-op game that I had played. I remember telling them that it was 4 players and that there were lots of characters like a clown, an archer, and a wizard, and that you could choose a different color for your character and it would change their outfit. And I remember looking at them, and the second guy was so confused because he still believed I was looking for that Saturn game, and the first guy just started laughing. The second guy asked him what was funny, and they looked at each other for a few seconds before the first guy said, "Come on, man, 4 players and a clown and a wizard. This kid is talking about Gauntlet." And then the second guy laughed too. They talked for a bit, then the second guy said something to me like, "The game you're asking about is called Gauntlet Legends. You know, my buddy will help you look for it." So the first guy asked me to follow him to the counter, and he looked up the game for me. He was able to explain to me that Gauntlet Legends was released for PlayStation, and that they had released an updated version for PS2, GameCube, Xbox, and that updated version was called Gauntlet Dark Legacy. I really felt embarrassed that I was calling it the wrong name, but ended up happy that everyone was so nice about it. Unfortunately, that store didn't have a copy, but he was able to find the nearest store that did have one in stock, and he even went so far as to write the address of the other store so that I could give it to my parents. And later that day, we even went to go get the game. So all in all, that was just a good memory that I have of those nice employees trying to figure out what this crazy little kid was talking about, and then everyone just has a good laugh about it. It was just a nice time. Ended up being very pleasant and a good memory. Alright, and my last happy memory story from GameStop involves Donkey Kong Country. So in my early teens, I had a phase where I was trying to collect games, and I would often visit GameStop to browse the used games section. I remember one day I was looking at the Wii games, and there was this display case of Donkey Kong Country Returns. I remember picking it up and feeling how heavy it felt, and something I always did before buying any game was open the case to check if it had a manual, because I wanted complete copies of games back then. So I opened up the case, and what do I see but the manual for the game plus the actual game itself. Some employee must have forgotten to take out the disc and put it in one of those plastic sleeves. I remember thinking to myself, the little devil on my shoulder was like, should I just take it? But the other shoulder won. I quickly talked myself out of that since I was trying to be a better person, and I took it to the counter and I gave it back, letting them know that there was a game in there. Oh, and also important to the story, I should have mentioned, I only had like 20 bucks on me, and this game was like 40, 45, something like that, so I couldn't afford it, but I was just curious about it and wanted to look at it, so that is how I ended up looking at it, but not having the desire to purchase it. So I showed them that game, and the employee thanked me, and they even offered me one of their little candies they have at the counters, and I'm pretty sure he must have bought it with his money, because I don't think they can just give things for free. Yeah, and that was it. I left the store with no games, but I had some hard candy that tasted a little better because I had done a good thing. So yeah, happy memory number 3. And those are my 3 happy memory stories from GameStop. Obviously I am beyond pleased with these. So happy that I ended up getting them, especially when I had that total drop in hope where I just didn't think I'd get them at all. Really happy about that. Amazing. I even finished the game the exact same day that I ended up getting these posters, so it was really cool. It was like a little achievement award for finishing the game. I don't know. It was great. But anyway, let me know in the comments if you guys have like picked up video game promo material from other stores. Like, I've had some friends that have picked up stuff from Target before, and so just curious if you guys have stories like that. It's really great sometimes to pick up this amazing promotional material that they're foolishly not selling sometimes. It's so good. I would pay crazy amounts of money for these. And yeah, any other happy memories of GameStop or other places that you purchase video games, anything like that, let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for looking at my posters. I hope you have a great day. Bye.